Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm on a cruise ship.
Wow. Yes, we are. We're on the Norwegian Jade.
Norwegian Jade, heading home. Been checking out the music while I'm on the ship, and one of the main entertainers I've been watching is this guy here, Dave McHugh. Hi Dave, how you doing?
Doing very well. I'm going to miss you guys last night on the cruise.
Hey, you've been great.
We're kind of bummed out. Everybody's leaving.
As a musician, I'm really interested in how the music scene works on a cruise ship. So I pulled him aside and I'm going to ask you a few questions if it's okay.
Sure.
So first of all, tell us a bit about your musical background before you got on this cruise ship.
Okay, well, I'm from up in eastern Canada. I'm a province called Newfoundland, Labrador, and I'm 52 now, but I've been playing since I was 16, so whatever that is, it's 30-something years, I guess. And I've been playing, so I played on land and I toured mostly my own province. The last couple of years I took off and played across Canada and Western Canada. And so that's all I've ever done is play music. It's never been a side thing. I've been lucky enough to make an okay living as a full-time. And in the last year I met up with somebody who worked in the cruise industry, and he suggested I would do okay on the ship, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try it.
That's awesome. I'm in the same. I started, playing young. I've always played. I'm playing now. So I'm curious, like, how do you met someone who does cruise ships? How do you audition? What's the process?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think that's a good question, because when he asked me, he said, did you ever think about cruise ships? I said, yeah, but I said, I don't know who to call. I'm sure I could have probably done some research, but I kind of thought maybe it's a very daunting and complicated process, but it wasn't too bad. A lot of cruise ships use agencies. So this Norwegian, for example, does use an agency in Miami. So I contacted them, and again, my friend also gave me a little boost because I'm sure they have a lot of entrants trying to get on. So I made contact with them and mentioned my friend, and so the guy said, "Well, send down a video and a song list." And they wanted a couple of kind of videos, like some sort of like live settings. They want to make sure you can make people sort of move and respond, I guess. And they also wanted some very stripped down videos of just a setting like here to sit down with your guitar and just sing. I guess they wanted to make sure that you could sort of hold it together on different levels.
So you did it over video, you didn't actually go and audition?
No, you just send down videos. So it starts out with correspondence. They ask what you're doing, send us your experience, and then as you it sort of graduates to, okay, yeah, that sounds something like what we need for a couple of ships right now, and then they ask for videos. Sometimes and I was kind of concerned with, I thought I would have to spend $10,000 on a video, but you send your video down and edit it and stuff and make it look clean and professional, but they don't expect you to go out, because I thought, again, that was going to be my stumbling block, but I'm luckily my son is pretty good at editing stuff, and nice. So he made it kind of, he did some transitions and made it look a little bit softer and professional. So
you sent the video, and from that you got the gig on the
yeah, they take your stuff. I guess they go through some kind of process panel or something at the agency level, and then you'll get a letter then from whichever cruise line they represent, saying basically that you're I can't think of a better word than pre-approved, or you are a prospective performer, I guess, on the ship, even though they kind of say we don't know when or where you're going to be on the ship, but you're in the system, kind of thing, So I just waited. It didn't take very long, maybe 2 weeks. They gave me a ship, and then they called back a month after that and changed it to this one, which was earlier and a little more vast itinerary too. So I'm pretty happy with this one.
So it was fast. The process was fast.
Yeah, I was really lucky. Maybe I just hit the right time, and but I was just a matter of a few months from the time I applied till I was floating down to Colombia.
any medical checks or things you have to do on the ship for training?
Yeah, well, the medical is the first thing you got to do, and you have to go to an approved center that's, I guess, affiliated with this company. So I had a choice. I was playing in Western Canada, and I had a choice to go back to Eastern Canada and spend a couple of $1,000 on airplane flights and pay for the medical, or go to Vegas, which was an hour flight away, and it ended up being way cheaper. This is sort of a side story, but I kind of had some fun. I went to Vegas for the first time, and mixed business with pleasure, I guess, and that was a good experience. So yeah, and then you get a medical. Then when you get on the ship, you mentioned training. You do some training. First, I was kind of surprised, and I being a little bit of the kid inside was like, I don't want to go to school, but
Yeah.
it's not a long process. You do a few sessions of training safety, which really makes sense because first again I said I'm playing guitar, I don't have to learn that stuff, and the guy said, okay, if the ship is something God forbid should happen, do you know where your lifeboat station is? I'm like, no, I don't actually.
Right.
So
Important stuff.
So it is actually truly, and you learn a lot of cool stuff too when you go. And I started to like the few classes I had.
You have to know how to swim, I imagine, right?
Yeah, or well, with a life jacket at least.
Yeah,
We had to do a couple of things, learn how to jump in the water and stuff. But that was actually fun.
That's great. And how long is the contract? Do you know?
Mine is 5 months. It started as 4, and then they extended me
Okay.
to 5. A possible extension for 2 more months after that. And
Okay.
I'm going to find it hard to say no because this ship is going to the Mediterranean and Europe now for several months, and I've never been there, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, my next question, you're quite new, but my next question was how you're enjoying the experience.
It's really fun. I don't know. You've probably come to a couple of shows, and you can tell hopefully you can tell I'm truly, at this stage of my career, you would think that I would feel like another gig, but it's rejuvenated me. I feel like I'm
Right.
in some sense starting over again, and because you meet people. I met you, and we had a good chat about music, and we related well, and people are very kind on the ship, and so it sort of feels like, wow, this is like another level of playing, and it's pretty neat.
That's how I feel too, because you play the same venues all the time, and then come on a ship, it's a whole new kind of venue, right? And you meet different people every week.
Every week, that's the
exciting.
cool part. I met you guys day one. You come on the ship, and first, and it's I don't know if I want to call it a challenge, but you start off on day one. Nobody knows who you are. You're just kind of doing your thing, and then you sort of start to build up a rapport with some people, and then by the time, like tonight, we had a big jam, as you saw.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
And you build up several hundred friends, and then you do it again. It's not to make it sound like it's a disposable process, but it's in fact it's not. You kind of become attached to people in a sense, and it's really truly kind of tonight. We had some bittersweet conversations with friends. People, we're going to miss you, and
People are leaving,
but people
moving
keep
different ships, right? Always kind
yeah.
of
Some of the crew, you're right, moved on. One band is leaving tomorrow, and all you guys, passengers are leaving.
Yeah. So give me your favorite thing right now about this job, and your least favorite thing.
My favorite thing truly is looking on the itinerary and saying, crap, we're going to Costa Rica tomorrow. I didn't realize that. I thought that was next week, because you kind of lose a little bit track of time. But the travel part is amazing, and I always get off the ship everywhere, even if it's for an hour, and do something in that country or territory. And I love that part. And there's 2 things I like best, and this is sounding cliche. I love that, and the people I meet there and on this ship is amazing. You can meet, I probably met indirectly, 8,000 people in the last few weeks, and I didn't meet them all, but you meet hundreds of them.
You're playing to all those different
and you're
people
playing
all
to
the
them all.
time.
And
amazing.
so those are the great things. The least, I guess, the hardest part is being away from family for an extended period of time. So I have 2 children, which are in their 20s now, and they're really cool with what I do. I've always done that, but I do miss that because you can't get off the ship. Of course, me being kind of naive, my first question with the agent was, so after, say, 5 or 6 weeks, I go back home. Is that how it works? And he's like, no, unless you want to pay for your own flight and lose that period of time in your pay, you fulfill your contract. So, 5 months, and you can communicate, but it's not as easy as communicating on land. I'm not sure if you've tried the Wi-Fi and stuff
Wi-Fi
here.
is slow
it's
and
scarce
unreliable.
and unreliable, and that's not just this ship, by the way. I guess it's a moving object in the ocean,
course.
so that's
It's
trying to follow a satellite.
amazing. It's amazing we can use Wi-Fi all
Right,
in the middle of the ocean, right?
Yeah. So that's the most challenging part, I guess, is missing your family and stuff.
Okay, so you might not have thought about what's next, but what's your kind of grand plan for the future, and does this play a part of it?
Yeah, well, I think you know, because you gig too. Sometimes you do a gig either by accident or if it's planned, and either somebody you talk to or some other idea comes in your head, and it would never have happened if you didn't go on here. So, for example, on the ship itself, I want to try to see if I can graduate to the next level, which would be what's called a guest performer. So I'm here full time, and I love it. Guest performers are another. They play in the bigger theaters, and they play less, but they still do well,
Right.
financially and stuff. And not that I want to just lie in bed all day, but I could probably spend more time than creating music and.
So is that
writing.
something that you can work up to then, being a guest performer?
It's kind of separate but related. So like when I came out, I didn't dream I would try that, but I've had some pretty good response, thankfully, and I've had some chats with some of the cruise directors and stuff, and suggested maybe you can try that. So that's another process. Sometimes another level of like sometimes different agencies do just the theaters and stuff. So I still have a lot to learn, but I'm looking at what they're doing and playing the bigger theater with the bigger sound and a full band, full with a brass band and stuff. And these guys are all complete genius readers. They can read any score. I'm used to playing. I don't know how you did it, but you get in a band over the years and you learn a song, because I don't read well. These guys, you can put any piece of music in front of them and say, we're playing in 3 hours. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have to look at that. They do look at it. So to play with those kind of players would be amazing too. So.
Actually, I just did a video about like the importance of learning to read music or playing by ear and the differences between the two. So yeah, but. It'd be interesting to follow you in a year's time and see how you're doing with that, because it must be easier to network once you're on the ship. Network, find out how it all works out. That's why I want to speak to you about it, because musicians that are not on cruise ships, it's very kind of alien to them.
Right.
How do you get on there? What's it like?
Yeah.
And being away from family, being away from even like regular gigs, that kind of angle of it too.
Well, yeah, we can continue the chat, and of course we're going to
it'd be good to follow up in the future and see, because you're so fresh and new at this, to see how you have actually navigated forward with it.
Yeah,
so,
maybe in 6 months I'll say, don't do it. I'm kidding. It's truly an eye-opening. There are some challenges and stuff, but it's an amazing. 99% amazingly positive experience.
Well, I can tell you enjoy it, and I've had a great time as a passenger, and it's something that really interests me as well. Let's leave it there. Where can people find out about you and your music that you have available, like original albums and things?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I have a website, DaveMcHugh.com.
DaveMcHugh.com.
Which I have to update a little bit now. I've been disconnected from shore a little bit, so
that's one of the problems,
I have a picture of the ship on there, but I do have. That's another cool thing. You'll start. I had a lot of friends that are starting to communicate with me on the social media. I'm primarily doing Facebook or my web page, but so we'll do the same thing. We'll start, and I actually want to check out what you're doing too. So.
Yeah, please do, and subscribe to my channel, which is the last thing I was going to say.
I will.
What's the name of your album though? Because you played a few original songs that I love, like the the reggae.
The Mama Wanna Girl. Yeah.
Well, what's the album?
The album's called Whatever Makes You Happy, and
Okay,
it's
check
recorded in Canada a couple of years ago. And
okay. Awesome.
And, so thanks for letting me.
Thank you.
Be on your channel.
Please subscribe to Dave's channel. Subscribe to mine. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you guys. Thank you.